Welcome back to the storage room of doom. This is the place that houses all of my hobbies that I've had all throughout my life. And I'm in the process of making a series of videos where I go through everything that's in here, documenting it, organizing it, playing with it, possibly selling it, maybe even throwing it away. So far in this series, I've made a new home for all of my RC parts in a toolbox that I had for the last 4 years. Then after that, I turned my attention to sim racing and I set up a wheel stand so I could play Gran Turismo 7 on the PlayStation 5. For today's video, we're going to be jumping hobbies once again. This one is one that I haven't gotten into in a very long time, but I'm slowly getting back into. In fact, I have my very first purchase in about 27 years in my pocket here. What is it, you may ask? Sports cards. In fact, we'll be opening this one up later in the video, but before we do that, I've got a whole slew of sports cards that I collected as a kid from the early to mid to late 90s in that range, and I have not gone through them at all since they were put into some totes that are behind me here. So I thought we could go through all those, take a trip down memory lane, if you will, and at the end I'll show you what I bought that may be getting me back into the hobby after a very, very long dark age. At least that's what it's called in Lego. Anyways, let's take a trip back into the depths of the storage room of doom and go into one of the totes from my childhood, as all of these are. This one is labeled sports cards, and inside here we'll find today's video. I can't really guess how old the cobwebs are that are on this, but if I had to guess how long these sports cards have been inside this tote, probably since we lived in our first house in the log cabin, which would have been like 2011. I would have moved this stuff out of my parents' house. It would have went over there, and it's just moved with us ever since and not really gone into. So let's open it up and see what's in here. And surprisingly, not that much. First thing that's drawing my attention are these starting lineup action figures. Action figures is probably a stretch though, because they don't really move too much. And silly me, collecting these as a kid, I actually had these on my wall hanging there, and you can kind of tell because it's kind of yellowed from the sunlight, at least his uniform is. And oh yeah, we got Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, very yellowed jersey there. I collected these things thinking that they were going to be worth a fortune someday. I wasn't going to open them up at all. We got Allen Iverson too. And I was thinking like, oh man, these are going to be great collectibles. But the truth is, if you were to go on eBay right now and look these up, they're not worth much of anything. In fact, you might have a hard time even getting someone to buy them at all. Let's just do a little test here. I'm going to look this up on eBay. You just scan that barcode in the back and we'll see exactly what these are worth. And if you take a look there, brand new sealed, $8 with $6 shipping. So that person's going to make like $5 after it's all said and done. Let's go to sold listings just out of curiosity. This is going to be the most expensive one probably. Unless there's some Allen Iverson fans out there that maybe stepped up. Yeah, $5. These are worth less now than they were when they came out. Shall we look up Allen Iverson? This is his rookie card, by the way. Let's see what AI is worth these days. There's someone that got it for $3.89. That's crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna let these go. I'm probably not even gonna sell them. I might just open them up. We'll just play with them and stuff. That's probably the best thing to come from these. And I'll just throw them in with my action figures and get rid of the packaging, because then it's not such a burden to have these. For now, we'll just slide those out of the way because they're not really what I came here for. What I came here for is inside of here. This is an old pencil box I had when I was in elementary school. And then this binder right here. Oh my gosh, this stuff is dusty. I must have taken all the cards out of there. Okay, that's it's a memory unfulfilled. What do we got here? Kevin Garnett. What is this? A Beckett basketball showing the 2008 draft preview. We could probably figure out how that all panned out. But this is old school. Before the internet was, I guess the internet was a thing. You used to be able to go in here and you look cards up and see what they're worth. And man, I remember this quite a bit. There's a card that I must have had. Who is that? Andre Miller rookie cards worth $3. Wow. I actually highlighted this. I was such a nerd. But yeah, Beckett. Boy, that's kind of cool. I'm probably not going to keep that though, because again, we got to make decisions on what we're keeping and letting go of. These things though are the most important things. These are all, I think these are just common cards. Some of these should be baseball, because that's where I started out. I started collecting baseball cards in 1993. I would go to the local market where they sold subs and chips, and I would buy packs of cards. I would walk there. Classic, like, old school kid thing to do. Walk there on my own. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. I would buy a pack of cards and come home and I would collect those. I didn't really watch baseball at all. I didn't follow it. I just thought the cards were cool. In the same way that Clark Mann likes Pokemon cards. I love like the the way that people are posed and the people themselves, I just think is very fascinating, and it was more of an art. But then cards got ruined for me much later than that, because my friend was all about this kind of stuff, where it was all about the pricing and what the values were. And he ripped me off one day and then told me that he ripped me off after the fact, and it got me real upset, and it sent me down this path of just being focused on card prices, and the fun of the hobby left me. Because it wasn't about, oh, that's a cool pose that Shaquille O'Neal's in. It was about, oh, your card's worth $2.50 and my card's worth $4, so I can't make a trade with you. And it just ruined it for me. So I think that's kind of why I fell out of love with it, but I kind of miss it. Anyways, inside here, these are all football cards. I think these are all commons. I got a lot of just like common football cards from my buddy, the one that ripped me off, because his dad was like super into it. So I ended up getting a lot of cards from him. So I think these are all common footballs. I'm not going to go through these too much. You can see a couple. I put like some ones that I thought were good in the front there. Is that Deion Sanders? Yeah. Chris Carter. I thought, who's that? Ricky Dudley. I mean, this is a blast from the past. So this is like mid-90s football cards, basically, and I think they're all commons. I will go through them on my own just to see if there's any hidden gems in here, but I think these are all pretty much just worthless cards, as are these ones in here. This is my basketball ones. I don't even have my baseball ones anymore. The 93 tops that I collected, which is where I started at, they're gone. We got some that are in hardbacks, or whatever they call these. Top loaders, I think is what they're called. Look at that with that. And even a Larry Bird. What? Okay. How about that? We got Larry Bird. I don't know what year that is, but yeah, these are all kind of commons as well. Oh, we do. I found my baseball cards. Is this all I've got left from the 1993 tops? Okay. Top prospects. Look at a Jim Edmonds coming attraction, priority retired. There are a couple of the tops cards. These are not tops though, but I do remember having these cards. Wow, it's like going down memory lane. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so I apologize for the camera work. Please forgive. Mike Musina, Randy Johnson, I still remember him. Oh, we got Ken Griffey Jr. A little preview of what's to come if you stick around. Tom Glavine. Kirby Puckett. I remember this. Is this 94 tops? I remember getting that card. We got Frank Thomas. Oh my gosh. These cards may be worthless, and they probably are. Dave Justice. But like, I have memories of all these. So I must have held on to the ones that really meant something to me, because all these are basketball, it looks like. And maybe there's somebody that would want to go through all these, and if that's the case, let me know, because we could do an SLV, super long vlog, if you're new to the game, and I could go crazy with these. But yeah, those are the basketball cards. I mainly collected football and basketball. I was never really into baseball too much. I've tried watching it a few times, and it's just not for me. To make this somewhat bearable to watch, I'm going to put a light on, and we'll set an overhead shot up so my camera's not moving all over, making you super sick. And then we'll go through, I guess, my prized possessions in terms of cards from the mid-90s. Who do we got here? We got Tracy McGrady. We got Tim Duncan. Another Tim Duncan. Oh, Kobe. Oh, there's a Kobe Bryant rookie card, dude. Nice. That might actually be worth something these days. So sad with Kobe Bryant, though. I love the Lakers. I was a Shaquille O'Neal fan all throughout his entire career. And, of course, I liked the Lakers when he was playing with them, and Kobe Bryant was a part of that. So I've got a bunch of Kobe's, dude. This is great. Look at that one. Yellow. And there's another one. I think that might be, is that a rookie? Nope, that's his second year. So there's all of our Kobe Bryant cards. That is awesome, man. I particularly remember this one because I got it at a card shop. And it was like right after him and Shaq were together, and I was like, oh, Kobe Bryant. So that's from 96, 97. And that was pretty much when I was done. Maybe I went one more year after that. But man, this is awesome for me. I don't know how it is like for somebody watching this, especially if you're not a card fanatic. But like for me, this is awesome. We'll put those aside. Oh, my battery's almost dead. Oh, I'm tired of fighting this fight. I've got a side quest to go on. I told you I got new batteries as I transcend into heaven. Newer batteries for my Canon R8, which is what I'm using right now. I was thinking about making this its own video, but who wants to see a video about batteries? All I really wanted to say was, instead of buying Canon batteries, which one of them is like $60 or $70, I've got two of these newer batteries to also make my lights that I use, and a charger, and this was $25 for this. So $25, two batteries, and a charging thing. or Canon just gives you one battery for 70. I think I made the right decision. My only hope is that they charge very quickly, otherwise this video is going to have to be like another part a little bit later, because we're not going to have any juice left. And this was fully charged before I started. That's how quickly it decimates itself. Here's something interesting. I put this one into the Canon charger and it doesn't light up. It knows. It knows. Okay, well, it looks like we'll be using this one. I've tried a bunch of cameras out in the last year or so, and this Canon one I love. It's just the battery. It sucks. Pick up where we left off over here and go into the Space Maker pencil box to reveal a whole bunch of other cards. I guess these are the ones that I thought were worth some good money. Also have a bunch of empties here, I guess. It's weird how some of these looks like they kind of change color over time. Unless that was already like that, but I don't think so. I also have a couple coins in here too. Let's take a look at that first. We've got a Brett Favre coin and an Emmitt Smith coin. I remember these. They're actually kind of cool. They say Quarterback Club on the back, which is a game I used to play for Nintendo 64. They're kind of neat. Brett Favre has kind of fallen out of fashion lately. I think he's got some problems. Was he stealing money from kids? He was doing something, which is a shame because I was a big fan of his back in the day. In fact, the card that I got ripped off on was a Brett Favre card, and there's a Jerry Rice card. I was like, what's this one? It's in a big old case. Jerry Rice. And that is when my battery decided to die. So we're on one of the newers, and it's completely full. So it's looking good. Let's go through these cards, starting with Deion Sanders. That's a cool looking card with the crown at the top there. He's also kind of fallen into some bad issues lately. I don't know the full story. I don't follow sports that closely, but something's going on with him too. And that's the dangerous thing of collecting these cards. You never know. Like one day Cordell Stewart's a rookie and doing great. Next day he's a serial killer and all the cards that you had from him are now worthless. That didn't actually happen, so don't go after Cordell. We got Eddie George. We got John Elway. I like these kind of cards. Like I always look at like the pose. I like that one, even though he's like blinded by the sun there. I think that's cool, but I like this one better. And again, these are probably not worth anything. I just really like these cards, and that's what I think this hobby should be about. It's not about what the cards are worth or focusing on the right one or not. It's all about like, that's a cool looking card. That's a great pose. That was Terrell Davis, by the way. We've got Steve Young. These are all nicely ordered. I did a good job, past self. All these Steve Young cards. I like these ones too sometimes that are, what would you call that? Not portrait, but landscape. I think are cool. I had a whole box of this. This is Fleer 97. That might have been my last year. We got Troy Aikman. I was a big fan. Here come the Brett Favres. I was really into Brett Favre back in the day. Let's go through all these. And I like these cards. It has like, you can't really see it on camera. Take it out of the plastic here. Has like a thickness to it. You can see how it's like kind of curved around like all the details on them. I think that's just so awesome. And that's where I'm at like right now, kind of getting back into collecting. I really want to collect cards that have like a story or mean something to me. Not like, oh, that card's Gem Mint 10 and is worth $1,000. No, I just want cards that I really like of things that I find interesting or players I find interesting. And I think it's probably going to be mostly like 90s basketball, to be honest. But here's all these Brett Favres. We're going into Jerry Rice territory. I think that one's cool. Catching the bullet. That's really cool. Is he catching it from Joe Montana? Because we have him right here. This is the guy. That's the guy right there. Or could it be probably Steve Young based on 1996? That's a Steve Young pass he's probably catching there. But there's all the Jerry Rices. I'll try to make this a little fast. Man, this is I'm thinking about this, like in my own head, I'm like, this is probably way cooler to me than it is to anyone watching this, unless I found the one person that watches my channel that's into sports cards. But that's the dangerous thing of, Dan Marino, of what I'm doing. Every day it's something different. So if you liked sim racing, or if you like RC stuff, they're kind of similar, but sports cards, completely different. I think we're going to find somebody that's just like me out there, that's a man of many hobbies, a renaissance man, if you will, and we're going to hit it off just fine. Oh, I collected these like crazy. What year is this? 97 Topps? Is that what year that is? I don't know. I collected a ton of these. I remember like that style down there with where the text is. In 1996 tops, I guess. Yeah, I was in like 6th grade. That was prime time for collecting sports cards. Well, we got a basketball card in here. Corey Maggette. I don't remember how he did. I don't think it was good. We got these cards. They're looking kind of cool. We got Brett Favre. Hey, a rookie Randy Moss. Let's see if that's worth something. That could be. Who do we have here? Marcus Camby. We got a Jordan. Oh, I love that card. I think I had a box of these. 91 Upper Deck. That's just so sick. It doesn't show too well on camera, but it's just awesome. And then I think a reproduction of when he was in college. That is from 1990, which he was already dominating the NBA at that point. You ready to look up this Randy Moss, see if it's worth anything? Here's how I do it. This is the easy way. So you're on eBizzle, and you just click on the little camera thing there, and you can scan barcodes like we were doing with the starting lineups. Or you can click image, and then you just put that up there, like that. And it'll find it. eBay's crazy like that. And that card is worth, some people are saying, oh, that's graded, $100. $5 maybe. Someone adds their $5. So, not worth much, but hey, that's pretty cool nonetheless. And that's all of those cards that we got through. That I had, like, separated out. Ones that I highly coveted, I guess. Who knows what I was thinking back then. I was crazy. Still am, maybe. I do have one thing left to go through, and it's that binder right there. We'll get these all aside. Man, I'm so excited that I found those Kobe's, though. That's awesome. I'm going to be holding on to those. I might purge some of this. Maybe not, though. I mean, cards, the beauty of this is it doesn't take up any space. My other big hobby is Lego, and literally one Lego set takes up as much space as all of that. So I don't have to feel too bad about the cards. Let's go into this, and I'll show you what's in here. This is my very curated binder of sports cards. In fact, I would put these all in here in a certain way that I wanted, like, the cards over here to be looking at the middle cards, and, like, as you can see, these ones are, like, kind of facing center. And he's right-handed, so they're all going to be kind of that way, but these are like my favorite Troy Aikman cards. I was a Cowboys fan in the early 90s, too, when they were winning the Super Bowls, and Emmitt Smith was a part of it. We've got more Kobe's and Shaq's. These were my guys. Oh, I loved watching them back in the day, and it was so cool, like, when your team wins championships and you're watching it, that's just such an awesome feeling, isn't it? That one, that's a year after Kobe came in, so it's not a rookie card, but we got a couple Shaq's. And, like, I still remember all these. Like, remember that look right there? I collected those tops. Good times. We got another Kobe rookie card there. That could be worth something. We should look that up, eh? See what a Kobe rookie card's worth. We also have a Kevin Garnett rookie card. It's crazy because, like, Grant Hill, that's his rookie card, too. All these guys are retired. We got Stephon Marbury. Like, these guys who have rookie cards in here, they're retired. That's how old this stuff is. It's just so weird to think, like, today's NBA players, I'm older than these guys. Like, I always looked up to these people. And now it's like, I could be like their dads, basically, at this point. But let's look up this Kobe rookie. What do you say? Just for funsies? I know this is like what I was talking about, taking the fun out of it. But I'm just curious at this point. What's that? Oh, my God. $80? 90? No, that one's graded. Again, you could ask anything for anyone. All these people that grade these cards. $3,200. See, you could say that. Could I go to sold listings? We'll just kind of see out of curiosity. You know, as an adult, you're like, oh, what is that worth? Let's go to sold. And not graded. Yeah, it's like $70, depending on the condition. It's been sitting in this binder for its entire life. That's cool. Never going to sell it. We got Grant Hill. I was a big Grant Hill fan back in the day. Got a whole page of his stuff. We got the USA team. This is from 1996. I love that. Like, these kind of cards that have, like, the thing that looks 3D. You can't really see it on camera. Here we go. My favorite player, Shaquille O'Neal. I don't have his rookie card, unfortunately. That was after I started collecting. But I do love all these cards. I loved him when he played for the Magic. I was disappointed when he went to the Lakers. I was like, you can't give up on the Magic. But then he did, and I loved the Lakers, too. And I just followed him throughout his career. It was a fun thing to do. This is probably my most memorable card. I had this one probably the longest out of all of them. And that's a USA basketball one, too. And I had a box of these. That's, I think, 94, 95 Upper Deck. We got Eddie Jones creeping on here. I guess because he's a Laker, I felt like that would kind of work. Got a lot of these ones. And then that one looks cool, too. Penny Hardaway. Big fan back in the day, of course, as you'd expect if I was a fan of Shaq and the Magic. Of course, you gotta like Penny, too. We got, what's this one? Jerry Stackhouse. Wow. Damon Stoudemire. Keith Van Horn. Antoine Walker. Man, Jason Kidd rookie card. Retired. He was actually a coach. I don't know if he still is. Got Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, more Antoine Walker. These guys don't even deserve to be on the same page as Scottie and Magic, but hey. Got a couple of Jordans. I don't think there's anything too crazy in here. These aren't like inserts, I don't think. There's Jordan playing baseball. That's one of my goal cards. I want to get a Jordan baseball card. I think that'd be kind of cool. Anything in here that's like one of one. Maybe like that one might be worth something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's more Jordans there too. You can pause this if you want to see them a little better. And more Jordans. Can you tell I was a 90s basketball kid? I got Emmitt Smith all the way back here. I don't know how he fell all the way back past all of that, but he's way far apart from Troy Aikman. Got a Brett Favre card in the... Oh, that's a double. That's cool. The Emmitt Smith-Brett Favre combo. Sick. Got Barry Sanders. I got to watch his documentary. It's called Barry. It's on Amazon Prime. Want to find out what happened to him and find out what happened to all these pages. That's it. That's all my cards. Again, not like a huge collection by any means, as you can see, but like the ones I have sure did mean something to me. Like some of these I just look at and it takes me back to that time. And I just think that's so cool. And I think that's what's great about cards, especially now that I have this nostalgia for them. Like these 90s basketball cards in particular, and these players that I know. Because versus football, and don't come at me NFL fans, I feel like with basketball, like you get to know the players so much better. Like when they're playing out there, you can see them. They're not, dressed with helmets and stuff on. And I don't know, I just love it. So it's really cool to go back and see this, especially after all these years. I'm almost 40 years old. And I collected this stuff probably when I was like 12, maybe 12 to 14, somewhere in there. That's just crazy. Hopefully you enjoyed coming down memory lane with me, but as I promised in the beginning of this video, we've got new memories to make as I potentially get back into the world of cards. I blame the TikTok algorithm for this because I started watching these videos on cards and got interested in them, and then they kept giving me more, and then I started watching this guy on YouTube that tells these stories about cards, and I'm just fascinated by it. So I thought, where could I get started at if I want to get back into cards? And the one that I got is not an expensive one by any means. It's just one that I felt like would be sentimental to me. One that I didn't necessarily own, but one that I could have possibly owned back in the day had I collected it. Which is kind of a weird thing to say, but my camera is not liking the reflective nature of it, but I ended up getting the 1993 Topps Ken Griffey Jr. baseball card because this, again, was the first series of cards that I collected, and I just thought it would be really cool to get a 1993 Topps card, especially considering that like most of mine are gone. I don't know what happened to them. Must have been a decision that I made as a teenager, probably gave them to my friend. I was like, oh, I don't really like baseball or watch it, so take all my cards, and who knows if there's anything crazy in there. I think the only 93 Topps card that's worth anything is Derek Jeter's rookie card is in there. But this card right here is worth about $1. That's what I paid for it. I think it was like $1.50 with shipping. But I was like, this card, while it doesn't necessarily have a story, it reminds me of my childhood with the design of the 93 Topps, and I thought, why not get Ken Griffey Jr. because he was an awesome player back then. I used to have his video game. I'd play for Nintendo 64 and I loved it. And I was like, that's where we're going to start at in the world of collecting cards again. So kind of a dangerous hobby to get into potentially, especially now that I'm an adult with discretionary income that I could go a little crazy on some of these. But again, I want to get cards that have an interesting story or have something about them that would be meaningful to me or just a fun thing to share. And then I'll make little card videos here for whoever wants to see them. And as far as my card collection goes, I'm going to figure out a nice way to organize these. I'm going to go through all of those commons or what I think are commons and just see if there's anything in there that should be saved. And if not, I might just let those go because they're pretty much, if we're going back through here, they're pretty much worthless, as are most of those cards that I showed you in my book even. Like these cards that at one point in my life, I was just like, wow, these are the best. These might not be worth too much anymore. I mean, Michael Jordan's probably a bad example of that, but like all these Emmitt Smith cards, collectively that entire page might be worth like a few dollars, if that. But there is some sentimental attachment that I have to these, and like this isn't hard to store, like I was saying earlier. I'm gonna clean this up, of course, but to have that slid in on a bookshelf or something is not so bad. This is definitely the collection you want to get if you like to go crazy with collecting. Do it with cards and not Lego. And maybe you don't even do it with sports cards either. Like I have buddies that do the Pokemon thing, and of course Clarkman does. You don't have to worry about a Pokemon, getting caught drunk driving and ruining his reputation. Sports players, it's a little dangerous with, like I said, with some of those guys, even though I don't really know their stories because I don't follow it. But if you do it after the fact, like if I'm collecting 90s basketball players now, we kind of know their story, and I think I could get some pretty great deals and have some fun along the way, which is what we're trying to do here every day. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on the history of my sports card collecting and maybe the beginning of a new chapter in it. This is going to be a fun time. Stay tuned. We got a lot more work to do in the storage room of doom, and I'm going to try to vary it up each day with new things that we can share and get organized. What are all the things we're doing? Getting organized. We're going to play with stuff. We're going to possibly sell things. Document it, of course. That's what we're doing here. And then if it's something that's basically worthless, we'll crack into it and we'll throw it away or put it into the action figures. I don't know. Whatever we're going to do. Everything in that storage room needs gone through, and it's all going to be shared here. So thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. Just the very beginning, episode 3, I guess is what this is, of Greg's collection, No 0 Days, Storage Room of Doom. It's a whole series. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next card video, or whatever it is we get into tomorrow.